One of the things I want to talk about is open purpose shutting down, which is random and weird. Um, and Blank's letter, which I don't know what it meant. It was weird, but somebody saying can't hear me, no audio. What? Is Restream attacking me again? What about now? Let's see if our settings are working again. Love a good bumpy start. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's back up. Welcome to Release Notes. Today's different. No Tommy today, just me. If that doesn't work for you, leave. You're all good. But we got a lot to talk about. We got all kinds of news. We got Open Purpose shutting down randomly out of nowhere. We got a letter from Blank that made no sense whatsoever. I didn't even like understand it and what it meant. But I want to know about this stuff. And then we got to talk about Roast GPT. Kind of a like side experiment, kind of like fun activity that Brett and I are doing for the Bolt Hackathon. I don't know if it's going to be like our actual submission or if it's going to be just something we tinker around with. But we're going to do it. Yeah, Tommy's asleep, post positive 100 memes. Bring it on, people. How can I be negative? It's just me. I have nobody to be negative with. It's just us. You know what I'm saying? Just us chatting. But then what I really want to spend today talking about, guys, I got to tell you, the last week, I've been a busy boy coding, and I've stumbled on some pretty crazy workflows. And I actually wanted to dedicate a whole episode to just talking about the crazy pace at which things just started to move with Pietro finally releasing Magic Path. I want to get your all's take on that. I'll also kind of demo it to you and we'll see what's what. But we're going to talk about Claude, Claude Code, especially with Claude 4 Opus and some of the stuff it's going to do there. I'm going to show you some behind the scenes tips, and then I'm going to drop my prompt for Cursor, which has been crazy. It's leveled up the game of what we can build and how quickly we can build it. So I just kind of want to nerd out today. Hopefully you guys are going to come on the nerd journey with me. And we'll dive into that. But first, I want to talk about this because I don't know what it means. So Open Purpose just disappeared, and Blank wrote this blog post, if we will. And he talks about OP rising to success because of their process and systemizing it down to the smallest details, which I got a lot of questions about what that means. And then they talked about the Academy, which did people get rugged? Is the Academy still going? Did he refund people? I have questions about that. And then they talk about ventures, and then some random thing about Dubai being the missing piece. I don't know what that means. You moved to Dubai and suddenly that meant that you could run your company. That doesn't make sense to me. And how OP became the creative venture platform he always dreamed of, Academy Services Ventures. Now, tell me, why don't I launch it? But you already had launched it. OP, Open Purpose was an agency, and you did launch the Academy and you took people's money. But then you talk about wanting to create a lifestyle brand, and you talk about OP again, but that's it. He doesn't say anything definitively about what it is or what happened. Let's zoom in right here. Oh wait, hold on. Is this new? Oh no, this is a different article. We moved articles. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So back into here. Yeah, literally, OP is a creative venture platform. We have the Academy Services and Ventures under one roof. We have the content for the classes, founders for services, and networked full of ventures with a governmental partnership on the way. Yet all I want to do is make objects, some you wear, others you use, all to inspire your next step. This makes no fucking sense to me. I don't understand what this means. Devin says put it in a GP. Let's do it. Here we go. We'll just grab this real quick. We'll open up ChatGPT. I'm going to switch my tab in just 1 second, people. Just hold on. We're going to throw this in O3 because I'm so confused that we're going to need some advanced reasoning to help us out here. So let's see. Tell me what the hell this even means. Let's see what O3 says. Oops. All right. Let's see what O3 tells us because I'm confused, guys. I don't know what this means. Yeah, Devin, one of my favorite things to do with GPT is to say, explain it to me like I'm 5. It works wonders. But let's see. Let's zoom in. Okay. So it's a founder's existential rant. Yep. Like, yeah. Backstory, current crisis, self-doubt loop, pros and cons. Yeah. My opinion. Okay. The make physical products urge won't die. If the founder suppresses it, OP will stagnate anyway. The rational move is a portfolio approach. Okay, that's rational, but this doesn't mean rational. The text is a soul-searching memo. It doesn't need to mean quit everything. It's a signal that the founder's purpose has shifted from service to self-expression. The smart play is to architect a structure where both can coexist rather than forcing a binary choice. But here's my question to this, like, does that, like, is that what he's doing? Like, is he just shutting Open Purpose down? Like he nuked the Twitter account. There's no content there anymore. So was he just shutting it down? And now, like, is there even a website anymore? Like, I have so many questions. I don't know anything. Like the Twitter doesn't even exist anymore. Like, guys, like, okay, I've ran agencies. I started my first agency when I was 20 years old. So I've been in and out of agencies forever. Some I totally like fucked up. Some I built to be, Everest did $12 million a year in revenue. Off Menu crushes it. Like, we looked at Open Purpose for Off Menu. We looked at Open Purpose as like our competitor. Like, that was the competitor that Off Menu thought about. I certainly don't think that we like always did as well with like the founder hype. Like, I've never gravitated towards like, let me go and like do a ton of the networking with like founders that are just now raising money that are trying to do like the hype products. Like, Amy wouldn't be interesting for us to work with because I don't use Amy. Now, to be fair, I don't use a lot of the products that our customers make. But like Ditto, for example, Ditto makes like really cool shit. They have contracts with the fucking Air Force. Like, they're doing really interesting things with technology. And those are things to where it's exciting for Off Menu to come in and like do a brand, help them with strategy, help them with their fundraise, however we can, right? Like, kind of roll our sleeves up and get under the hood. So we looked at Open Purpose as our main competitor, especially because the pricing's pretty similar for us. And then it was just so weird to me that Open Purpose was just gone. Because, like, I don't know Blank. I've never met him. I don't know anyone that knows him unless one of you guys do. It sounds like, Devin, you've got an inside track. But it absolutely flummoxed me. It's like, are you telling me that your business just died, but you're not saying it died? Or are you telling me that you're just like tired of running it and you've got enough money now that you don't have to worry about it? Like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't imagine a world in which I just nuked the Off Menu Twitter account and was like, Off Menu's gone. And I'm going to give you this cryptic tweet. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. I don't know. Should we care? No, you shouldn't care, Kyle. Like, you don't need to care about it. It's not important. It's just a design agency that's no longer around, and that's going to happen left and right. Speaking of design agencies, I want to talk about Magic Path. So I'm doing a deep dive video on Magic Path with Pietro. We're going to record it here in a couple hours, actually, and it'll probably go live on Friday. Speaking of going live on Friday, Release Notes will be back. Tommy will be back on Friday, all that good stuff. But I'm starting to publish content to YouTube on Fridays. I've been experimenting. Like, I talked to my buddy Jeff Sheldon from Ugmonk first, and then I talked with Mike DeGenova over there at Work Louder, and I talked with Stephen Haney from Paper. And it's been fun, but the format is interesting to me because I'll show you real quick. So like the Paper video crushed like 12,000 views on a brand new YouTube channel. Been posting some simply short takeaways, things like that. If you guys have feedback, please let me know. I'm all ears. But I want to level it up. Like I want to do a better job of like diving into the content, telling the story, telling why it's important. So I'm working on that. Hopefully the one with Pietro and Magic Path is going to crush that for us. We'll see. But it's been fun because I'm having an enjoying like an incredibly exciting time talking to people that I think are doing really interesting things and are working on the future of the space. And then like them taking us behind the scenes to how they're building it is really important to me. Like it's one thing to be like, hey, here's Magic Path. Like here's this AI design tool. And that's cool. Like let's demo it. Let's talk about the product. But for me, what's most interesting is like, dude, how did you build this? Like how much of this was vibe coding? How did you use AI to help you build this? Like how did you think about designing the product? Like those things are really interesting and important to me. So that's one of the things that we're going to dive into a ton, is how all that works. So I'm going to bring you guys that content. But let me show you Magic Path real quick if you haven't played with it. We'll kind of demo it real quick. So we'll just get started. I will continue with Gmail real quick. Let's see my assembly. Yep. It was a different name and you used to be able to just access it directly. But now things are a little different. Oh, okay. You still have my old account here. Okay, cool. But yeah, let's create a project. We'll just use the free plan. Heck yeah. What does that mean? 1 week limited trial. Okay. 50 out of 50 components left. Okay. So, okay, that plus button down there is pretty hidden. I don't think that's the best experience. Okay, so we can create something new. So let's do, anybody want to give me a prompt? Tommy, yeah, Tommy's okay. Tommy's a busy boy with his media stuff right now. Give me a prompt, Ethan. Design a website for a design agency that sells branding to content creators. I'm gonna see. We're gonna be Ethan real quick. Ethan, if that's not actually what you do, my bad, dude. But I think that's a nice niche for you to carve out one way or the other. All right, so it's gonna generate. Now, Magic Path just launched the new feature to where you can take the React code that it's building for you right here. Make it to-do app. Yeah, we can do that. We'll try that out. But you can take the code it's doing and you can directly export it to Cursor, which is super interesting. Okay, so it's still rocking and rolling. Planning design. Okay. This green is really weird. It's like a really subdued green. It's an interesting design choice. Come on, Magic Path. Creating agency homepage. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay. I hope this is baller because this is taking a little while. I hope what we see is a sick landing page. Creating agency homepage. I know you are. Like, let's see it. So Pietro announced that they raised, I think it was like 6.9 or 6.6 million from Kozla Ventures to build this, which is good. So he already had like a good track record, obviously with all the work that he's done with Anthropic and their other startup, which basically kind of uses like 4.0 to generate really good imagery for like ad content. So dropping in like a product and making a ton of different assets for product photography, things like that. So they already have like a good track record. So they pulled this fundraise off, I think in like a week. It was super fast. But what they built is really cool once we see this. Yes, Kyle, that's right. Yeah, we're going to do a live demo. Well, it's not going to be live, but we're going to do a deep dive demo, get pro tips, how they built this, like lots of questions. Okay. Your modern homepage design is ready. Is it? I just see a white page. Okay. Got to fix the missing component. Code is hard, guys. Here's the good news, Adrian. Recordings are perfect 4K. Live stream is where we have the troubles. Okay. So Ethan, if we were racing and you were designing this yourself, who would be winning right now? Dude. All right. Love the use of white space. Dude, I agree. I think it's a great use of white space. Emperor's branding site. Yeah, pretty much. Dang, looks sick. Yep, it does. Dude, it's clean. It's clean. This is great right here. So modern that you need to live in the future to see it. I could not agree more. All right, we're gonna see. You use Framer Workshop and all done. How's everybody been enjoying Framer Workshop? Like from our testing, it's great. But we don't do a lot in Framer anymore. We primarily just build everything from scratch, but it's really fun to use so far. It's coming. One day. There we go. All right. We craft digital experiences that inspire. Okay, let's pull this art. The artboard should auto expand. I shouldn't have to like pull this artboard down to reveal content. Okay, cool. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it's not great. Like it looks like as a starting point, it's clean. It looks like what a lot of templates look like. Framer Workshop one shot at a Klaviyo API newsletter box. Dude, that's pretty wild. I'm going to give you the ultimate prompt to one shot anything. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. Like I want to explore this. So let's do some art direction here. Ethan, you're the man with the plan. What should we do? How should we tweak this? So we can go in here to the actual design and we can edit everything. So we can kind of go edit component. And then what we can do is select this. So if we didn't like this div, for example, we could edit with AI and we could say, make this a cleaner 3-item value prop section with the image on top, text on bottom, add a cool transition effect. Fuck my spelling, whatever. On scroll. Let's see what this does. So we can edit that single component, which is cool. Another Shadcn landing page. Yep. Tell the AI to lighten up the line height and the letter spacing. Yeah. We'll do it. Force it to work in increments of 8. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. I wonder how these would generate if no frameworks are available. I mean, to be honest with you, I I'll show you something in a second. I'll take you under the hood for something and show you something. Okay, cool. So services that drive results. I mean, this is it did what I asked, right? I wonder like how specific we can get about things. Like if I was to go change everything to Geist Sands, yeah. Ethan Driscoll. I'm Googling you. Outer Block. That's what it is. Outer Block. Okay. Design Studio. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to rip off Ethan. I'm going to take this screenshot here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Ethan's section for his site, and we're going to see if we can get it to copy it. So edit with AI. I can't add an image for that particular section. That's kind of frustrating. Let's do chat. Let's see if we can do paste this image in. No, we need that. Okay. For the services that drive results section, make it look exactly like this image. Also, let's make sure that we're using Geist as our font. Let's follow an 8-pixel grid, and let's also make sure that we tighten up the line height. I could park a fucking double-decker bus between those lines. All right. Interesting. It's not accepting my paste. There we go. All right, let's see what it does. Or if it gets mad at me for the feedback. I'm giving you the attention, dude. You got it. So I mean, like this would be cool. I'm like if it spits out a decent result, this is interesting because here's my thing, guys. And I'm gonna give you guys a golden idea that I'm gonna give you an idea that I had, and I want you to rip it because I think this is genius. While this loads, I'm gonna tell you my idea. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna search App Store, and I'm gonna show you this. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen with you. Replace screen. Let's just share Olive Arc is what we're going to do. Okay. So you can see this now. Check this out. All right. So this is Boat Cloud. Look at the design of this. So I recently learned about this. Lots of marinas that do services for their customers to where they'll do like boat valet, basically. It's where like you let them know like, hey, I want to pick up my boat at 8 a.m. on Saturday. And they'll have it ready for you, and then you take it back, and then they load the boat, store it away in their garage, whatever. This is the app that they use. It's called Boat Cloud. Look at this absolute piece of shit, right? And I was looking at this, and I was like, this is really interesting, actually, because this is bad. The reviews aren't great. A quick Google search told me that there's not a lot of competition in this space. It's relatively expensive for marinas to use it, but it powers like a core revenue generating service for them. Like for a lot of marinas that are, yeah, dude, it's jQuery UI. So for a lot of marinas that offer valet, like for the season, it's a huge revenue generator for them. Like you got to think like. So for example, let's say that you're doing a valet for your boat through the season from June, July, August, September, and it's, I don't know, $2,000, right? $2,000 for the marina to store your boat, do all this stuff. So the app that manages all that is pretty important for your revenue, right? Because you're doing, I don't know, maybe 100 plus boats. So it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that of revenue that it represents. I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, hold on. That's horrible. Like you could literally sit down in a day and design a replacement for it, right? You could build it with Cursor. Hell, just do a simple Expo app, right? So just do a React Native app. You're probably going to need a separate interface for the marina to use and to manage, right? But you're basically going to build those two parts. I guarantee you, if you were thoughtful about your approach for vibe coding it, you could do it in a week. And it's like, okay, you got that. You throw together a brand really quickly. So we can come into Magic Path, right? We could throw a brand together really quickly. We should actually do this, guys. We should fuck around and do this real quick. Let me go back to Magic Path. But you could throw a brand together really quickly in Magic Path, design the app in Magic Path, maybe even, or some other tool. But I'm going to say Magic Path because shout out Pietro. And what we could do, hold on, let's do it real quick. I'm going to give it a thoughtful little prompt here. Let's describe it. I'm designing an app that allows boat owners to request a pickup for their boat from my marina, and then also to notify me when they've dropped the boat back off. It should include the ability for them to select what time and day they want to pick their boat up, any special requests they have, such as having the boat refueled or cleaned or anything of that nature. And it should be a really clean interface. It's multi-screen, so we need to account for the user flow. Okay, let's see what happens here. All right, we're gonna let this run. We'll see what happens. But so here's where I'm going with this. So you build it easily. You design it, you vibe code it, and what you do then, you throw together a simple brand, and you basically go to N8N, right? And I'll give you guys a pro tip on this. You can actually go to Opus, to Claude Opus, and you can take the docs for something like an N8N or even like Zapier MCP, whatever it is, and you can have Claude Opus, right? The JSON, right? Write the JSON for the N8N agent, and you can create an agent to do anything you want. Super complex, right? And then you could sign up to something like Clay or whatever else, and you could literally vibe code the app in like a week, throw together a quick and easy brand, have a couple agents that do massive amounts of research and then like outbound email to all these marinas, right? And basically your pitch is simple. It's like, hey, we've got a better boat cloud. And you could do this for a bazillion different industries, but we've got a better boat cloud. It's cheaper. So you can undercut their pricing because it's just you and AI, right? Like you don't need to worry about things. Let's see what's going on here. What's happening with my component? It's pausing. But anyways, and that's it. Like you could do this for any industry. Like there's tools like this for marinas and boats. There's tools like this for booking cleanings or HVAC or scheduling like contracting services. Like there's countless examples of this to where companies are stuck using these shitty apps. All you have to do is a little bit of research. You could even use like deep research and ChatGPT to surface a lot of these. And it just seems to me like it's crazy low hanging fruit to literally just vibe code these in crazy boring industries. Yeah, tow truck industry. Exactly, dude. Exactly. And then use massive scale of cold email outbound to sell into these accounts. Like you would need really minimal team members and just have clever agents doing most everything. I mean, if you want to get carried away, like there's even AI voice agents that you could train to do like customer service. I don't know. It seems to me that there is a ton of potential there. I don't know. I was thinking about that and I was like, this sounds so boring, but so exciting at the same time to just use a modern stack. Restaurant management software is a little bit more complex, but it's also ancient. I mean, some of it is. Like Toast is doing a lot, right? Toast is doing a lot in that regard. But yeah, restaurants are a tough one. The thing is, like, selling to restaurant owners is impossible. Like, it's so hard. Ethan says, let's make Salesforce. I don't know about that, but I'll tell you about Service OS. Need to start a boring software agency? Kyle, you're speaking my love language, dude. Like love language. I'm telling you, man, like this is where it's at. We're about to launch something soon called Service OS, which is sick, and you guys will enjoy it. Several of you will want to use it. It's a very opinionated software stack on how to run your agency. It's sick. I'll demo it soon, but we're using it internally to run off menu, and it's like it's a game changer. It's crazy. But I don't think we're getting anywhere with our magic path here. Let's ask my favorite question. Are you stuck? Okay. All right. Well, I guess that wraps our Magic Path demo for the session. There's going to be interesting conversation with Pietro later. Be like, yeah, dude, I tried to demo this live and it didn't work. Oh, man. Let's see what this does. Refresh. See if that does anything for me. No. All right. Well, that didn't go necessarily as planned. We could also just use our friends Bolt.new to do this. Also, did you guys see the roast GPT that Brett and I are building for Bolt.new for the hackathon? I'll show it to you real quick if you didn't see it. We're gonna actually like take it seriously and turn it into something really cool later this week. Let me show you real quick. So basically, oh, here we go. I'm gonna roast Ethan since we're here. I'm just gonna screenshot this section of Outerblock, and then let me paste it in here. So I'll do this. Here's what we're gonna roast Ethan. You'll see the image in just a second. Boom. All right, cool. So I'm gonna continue to persona selection. I'll choose Gordon Ramsay. It's on Savage mode, so this is gonna be interesting. And then we'll see what he says. Yeah, Kyle. I that's what I want to turn Tuesdays into. I'm gonna put like a lot of structure into it, and I'm gonna make these Tuesday episodes incredibly fucking useful. I got a lot of ideas for that. Oh no. Let's zoom in. What the fuck is this shit? You call this a website? It's like I've walked into a bland ass limp salad of web design where nothing has any seasoning. That fucking header with your brand doesn't drive growth. We fix that. Are you kidding me? Dude, Gordon Ramsay is a savage. Oh my God, I love it. The funny thing is, I don't know if you guys saw us like putting this together the other day. This took me like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes. Obviously, like we're gonna design it and then take it seriously, but this was just a funny little proof of concept that I just one-shotted. And then I hooked it up to 4.0's API to use actual vision. And then what I did is I had it create a little bit more in-depth logic around how the Gordon Ramsay persona would communicate and like what things it would look for in a roast. It's just a couple prompts really easily, and it's hilarious now. I don't think its opinions are the best. Like it needs some training because the white space actually, Ethan, is really nice. I would not agree with you. Got a mountain of useless white space. But this is pretty funny. The fonts, you had one job, pick a typeface that doesn't look like it got rescued from the ass end of a pickle jar smelling trash can. That's a weird call. You start a project, it's hidden in broken darkness, looking like a fucking crusty hunk of baked dough in a sconed landscape. Dude, that's not a good burn. But that is a pretty dark CTA. You could hit a little bit of that. You could bring some of that purple contrast into that CTA. That'd be pretty sick. Like a little gradient, like very, very slight gradient would be pretty cool there. But yeah, this was the roast GPT that we threw together really quickly. I don't know. It's pretty funny. All right, let's get back to this. So here's what I want to talk about today. One of the big things, one of the big unlocks that I've had personally is Claude Code. I've been wanting to play around with Claude Code, but I was like, I don't really see the usefulness of it yet because obviously I want to pull in Cursor and I want to use Cursor. For Cursor, my life has changed. Like the ease in which we can build complex applications has gone from like, I don't know, I would rate it somewhere around like a 6 out of 10, right? Like 6 out of 10 of like, yeah, we can put some stuff together pretty easily. To where now it's shot up to like a 9 out of 10. And like the complexity of what we can do, not one-shotting. We follow a planner and executor system, which I'll show you in a second. It's been insane. So essentially what I do is I have a pretty detailed set of rules in Cursor. I'm going to tell you how this relates to Claude in a second. But I have a detailed set of rules in Cursor, which I'm happy to DM you guys if you want them. That basically takes you through 2 stages. So there's a planner stage to where it has to evaluate things using best practices, using a lot of custom rules that I've written, and it has to create an implementation plan. And the implementation plan is very detailed. And then what I do is I'll switch from, typically I'm using Opus to create those implementation plans. Pro tip, before you start executing on your code, remember to turn Opus off and turn Sonnet on, or you will burn hundreds of dollars in no time at all. I made this mistake the other day. I have a pretty high like custom usage limit in Cursor, and I'm like working, and it's like, oh, dude, you've hit your limit. I'm like, what? And I realized it's because I'd left Opus on for like a day, and it just burned through hundreds of dollars of usage. Um, but so I'll plan in Opus now. Sometimes I'll come out and I'll do like PRD stuff in O3. But for my code planning, I've been doing Opus. And then I'll switch. I'll say, hey, okay, now you're the executor, and I want you to take action on this implementation plan. And one of the very important things that I do is I have the tools work in very small slices for Git. So we'll work on a couple little things for a feature, commit. A couple little things for a feature, commit. Really descriptive commits, keeping just like best practices. One of the biggest problems I've seen people make, or excuse me, the biggest mistakes I've seen people make with vibe coding is they will go way too hardcore in the amount of work that they're trying to shove into like one Git commit. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I fucked up. Like, I don't know how to go backwards to where something was stable or whatever. So let me just share my screen and we'll dive in. I'm just gonna share my entire screen. Fuck it. We're gonna just go crazy today. You should be able to see. Okay, so this is an example. I'm gonna actually no, I'm gonna show you this. So let's zoom in a little bit here. Maybe not that much. That's a little intense. Kind of close this. And I'll close my chat tab. So this is an implementation plan, for example. Let me just get out of there. So I'll close this too. That way we can see the plan in full detail. Okay, so this is an example of what I would have Opus create. So I'd say, hey, I'm going to change the routing structure for this to where now I want to use like linear style URLs. So like workspace slug, and then kind of domain or feature area slug, etc. And it'll create a huge plan with like pseudocode, examples, everything. I have it call all this out. And typically what I'll do is I'll have it double check all this work. I'll say, hey, okay, that plan looks great. Did you think about this, this, and this? So obviously it requires that you have some knowledge of what the hell you're doing. Like, I don't think you need to even get into the process of trying to build any complex apps or do much like vibe coding. If you don't have the basis of like, what are hooks? How should I use middleware? Like, what are these things that I should keep in mind? So I would do some research there. And honestly, like for that, I would say that you could do Sonnet, but I would say that ChatGPT 4.1 is going to be your best friend. Like, go to 4.1 and say, explain to me like how the app router structure works in Next.js, or explain to me how I should organize components, for example, right? So you don't want to just shove everything in like components /UI. Like, let's do feature-based components. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'd go into my source over here, I'll pull this up, and it's like, okay, let's organize components by features, right? So we got the admin components, the organizations components, and then you expand from there. What are the actions? What are the hooks for that particular feature? What are the components that we break that into, et cetera. So learn those things first. But then you're going to create these implementation plans using, I'll show you my rules, and then I'll give these to you. Basically, you have the instructions up here. My favorite, like I use this for any custom instructions for AI. Please use humor and sarcasm and wit whenever possible. Use a friendly, casual tone like we're best buds. Hanging, curse as you please, fuck, damn, shit, dipshit are all allowed. If an error persists or something frustrates you, say fuck, shit, this is stupid, whatever. This is a game changer. Like, it's so stupid simple, but it makes life so enjoyable. And then I go into the role description. So planner, you work this way. Here are the document conventions that you're going to follow, workflow conventions. And then I talk about the executor mode, right? So the executor, you're going to do this. And those are the two kind of Jekyll and Hyde personalities, if you will, that I use when I'm working in Cursor, right? And I'll also have Claude kind of follow these rules. So you can see my Claude folder at the top up here. right? To where we essentially have a set of rules for Claude. And here's the big unlock. What I'll do, I will have cursor running, and sometimes I'll start something in Bolt too, and then I'll move that over. But once I'm kind of ready to like do custom API stuff, or for example, I had to build a Stripe app. So for this particular app for Control Tower, I don't know if we're going to call it that, if we're going to call it something else. But I had to build a whole Stripe app to where like if you're an agency owner, you can easily integrate with Stripe, import all your active customers, create projects for them, whatever. So that's something to where it's like we're going to need to do some pretty complex lifting there. So I'd bring that over into here. And let's say that I'm working on a particular feature. I'll talk about my AI pane here. And let me give you an example. I'll give you a real example of this, of how I would use this. Let me share my whole screen one more time here. The reason I don't always share my whole screen is that it makes it so it's really difficult for me to read chat. But let me show you this. So place my screen. I'm gonna do my entire screen. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you a real live example here. I'll go to Figma, okay? And I will pull up a screen in Figma. And I'll say, let me find something to pick on here. This is a good one. Yeah, this is a good screen. Okay. So I'll go into Figma, and what I'll do is I will copy a link to the entire page. Okay. So link to selection. I'll go back into cursor. And in this instance, I'm using the Figma MCP. And so I call that out. And so what I'll do is I'll say, you're the planner. Okay. We're going to build a new project dashboard view for client projects. Okay. And I'll keep this one simple just for demonstration purposes. But what I'll do is I'll say, using the Figma MCP, I want you to review the designs and then infer the user actions that take place on this page. Also, be mindful of existing components that we've created that would fill the gaps for the components used on this page. If you have any clarifying questions about using the code base or business logic, ask me. So we'll do that. Oops, because I just chatted. I got to go back. And then I will grab my link one more time and I'll just give it the link. Here it is. Okay. And I'll switch to Opus real quick. Wait, what? Interesting. Opus is gone from the cursor settings. I wonder if they, what? Whatever. Sonnet's good enough. We'll use Sonnet. We'll pop that out. And so we're going to let it run for a second and then we'll come back. And what we'll do, we'll let this run really quickly. Custom mode and cursor for planar that already baseline instructions baked in. Well, you would just use it with the rules, Kyle. That's what you'd do. So we're going to take this design. We're going to implement this. We're going to let it create the plan. So let's pull this over. And so you can see this is where like the sarcasm and stuff goes into, right? I'm going to channel my inner planner and get this shit organized properly, right? Just like those little things make this whole experience much more enjoyable. So what it's going to do now, it's calling the MCP tool. You're going to see it kind of infer the logic. It's going to think through all the actions that it can take, etc. So here's what I would do in this instance. While this is happening, I would open Warp is my favorite terminal editor. So I'm going to open Warp. I'm already CD'd into the right directory, and I would just type Claude to initialize Claude. And you can just install Claude. It's easy. It's just an npm package. So just Google Claude code and whatever. The first time you run it, you're just going to /init, and you're going to create a new Claude folder with documentation. And then what I've done in my Claude folder, if I go to my settings, I've always follow rules MD. And then what I did is I took my cursor rules and I just put them in the root of my app. I do this for everything. I'll just put it in the root of the app and I'll just say, hey, follow this particular file, right? And what I can do while this is happening, I can work on something simultaneously with Claude Code. And you can do multiple instances of Claude Code to do this, although I wouldn't recommend it. But while it's working on this implementation plan, I could say, hey, I want you to review the linear style routing structure implementation plan and audit it against the code base. We had previously made progress on that plan, but I eliminated that branch and we're going to start from scratch. So assume that everything in there is at a 0% progress. And we now need to double check all of our assumptions about how to integrate that URL structure into the app, pay special attention to our feature-based components, and how to make sure that we preserve all of the existing UI. Okay, so I can tell Claude to do that. And what I'll do is I'll let Claude run. If you have Claude Max, and I highly recommend if you want to use Claude Code, you upgrade to the like $200 a month version because you get, I think it's like 20 times the limits or something like that. And it makes Claude Code insanely useful. Now, here's the great thing about Claude Code. It's incredibly agentic, so you can let it just work and work and work. But most importantly, it's using Opus 4. And you're not running into the limits you'll run into with Cursor, to where right now I can't even select Opus 4. It strictly is using Opus 4. You're getting none of those rate limits from a third party. It's just awesome. But I do think that it has to follow the same rule structure of planner, executor, right? And you can see it'll create its own little to-dos because it's some of the rules that it has internally as a tool and also that I've created for it, and it'll just work through everything. And then what you can do is you can go back and forth. So I can implement this project's feature and something that I feel like requires some visual elements. I can do it over here. So I got this documentation for this implementation plan all written out here. I can read through this. I can validate that I think that this features-based component structure is correct. I can double check all the work that it's doing. And then I would read through this carefully. I would read through this and then I would chat with either Claude Code or Cursor, depending on which one I'm working on, about things that I think are wrong. The best thing that you can do, by the way, I'm not going to show you this on this stream because it takes forever, but it's business logic clarification. And what I mean by that is that you want to create a simple set of rules for business logic. So think of this as like a stripped down PRD, right? So with a PRD, you might go a little crazy. And you're going to have a lot of extraneous details around like user stories and tech implementation plans and like all this stuff. I've found that it's really nice to have your PRDs. So this is a general overarching vision of like what the app is, and then break it down into sections. So this is what this page does. This is what this little feature does, etc. And then from there, you can take all those documents. You can say, hey, I want you to extract the business logic of how the app works. And the business logic could be like nitty gritty details of like, let's say I'm building an app to where other agencies, we'll talk about Control Tower, right? So other agencies can sign up to use the app and then they can work with their clients. And maybe one of the most important things for them to be able to do is to import their clients from Stripe, set projects up, etc. But then what's the role of an admin or a workspace owner? And is there a difference between like me as a workspace owner that's also building the app and I kind of want to be able to manage anything from a customer support perspective versus the owner of a workspace? So that's business logic, right? Like those are the things you're trying to account for. And if you haven't made all that business logic incredibly clear, it will hallucinate. Like dead serious, you will get all kinds of issues in your code. It'll try and do funky shit in your database. It will hallucinate left and right. So that's one of the big things that I really recommend is making sure you keep a clear business logic file that's just extracted from your PRDs. Does that make sense? Or am I getting like too into the weeds? I also feel like I need to like slow down and sit down and make a really, really detailed breakdown of all this stuff. Like it needs to be like its own YouTube video, honestly, that's just like super into the weeds on all of this. Let's see here. Go to settings. Check Opus. Yeah, Opus is turned on for me. It's just missing for some reason. Can't read anything on the screen 720p. I don't understand why that is, Adrian. Again, it's Restream. I need to get off of Restream. Yeah, Whisper is what I use. Some people like Super Whisper, I think is the other one. I personally prefer Whisper. I like Super Whisper adds a lot of like custom logic that you can do. So you can like dictate and then you can have different dictation models that would do things. So for example, I could have an email model that's like, hey, whatever I dictate, I want you to turn it into like an email format that's like this. I don't like that. Like I like Whisper Flow. I don't want custom models. I just want you to precisely capture what I say. So that's what I use. Yeah, so Whisper Flow is what I use. It's pretty great. That's solid. Hadn't thought of making that document yet. Yeah, I agree. It's crucial, man. The business logic is crucial. Do that, but not stream. We need to see all the details. I'm going to, man. I'm gonna slow down and I'm going to. You have it bound to your right command button. Oh, that's smart, actually. I use Command Tab to trigger Whisper. But having the right command, is your hand often on the right side of the keyboard, or are you like moving to do it, Devin? Like which, I don't know. I feel like I always have like one hand on my mouse, one hand on my keyboard. Kyle, yes, you need to make that video. I volunteered to interview you for it to prompt good questions because you're perfectly above my knowledge gap. Yeah. I think the most interesting part, Hunter, is also the PRD, how you're updating them, how you create per project. If you create 4, you have to also create the 5th one over it. Yeah, so like the PRD, dude, fuck, man, I really have a lot of content to make for you guys. Here's the thing. In this little like YouTube journey that I've started, I've been paying attention to a lot of the examples, people making YouTube content on this stuff. And I think there's some people that are really good and really interesting. Like Riley Brown, I like what he's doing. But the majority of it is stupid. Like it's the most superfluous content. Like it doesn't actually teach me anything that's useful. It's like somebody that just basically sat down with Cursor and figured out that they could like prompt some code into existence, and they're not actually building something that's being deployed to production. Like I've yet to fucking come across anything that's like, oh my God, guess what? You can connect Bolt and Supabase, and you can connect Cursor and Supabase and all these things. But let me teach you about row level security policies, right? Like, let me explain that to you because that's important. I swear to God, I had a client for Off Menu, an agency. I think I mentioned this before, but an agency built them a huge app that they're using in production. It has no RLS policies whatsoever, none, at all. And it's like, okay, so your data is not secure, right? So you have to like dive into these things, but they're kind of boring. But I think you can do them in an interesting, like, nuanced way. So for me with PRDs, what I work in multiple phases to where I'll start with just a voice note, right? I literally will use Granola on my phone now, or just talking to Whisper on my computer. Or like if Christian, who's in the office next to me, comes in and we're talking through an idea, we'll just throw Granola up, use the Mac Studio speakers to record, and we'll whiteboard on the glass and we'll talk through it, right? And so I'll have it capture all those voice notes and I'll say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. I want you to tell me about the technical feasibility of this, right? Like, what do you think about this? How would I implement this? I'll actually show you this because I just did this the other day. I'll show you this. I literally just did this exercise for something that I was thinking about. You guys are getting all the goodies. I'm just showing you like exactly what I'm doing. Okay. So basically I say, you're my co-founder and CTO. This is a lazy like prompt. Help me think about the bigger picture, call bullshit on my bad ideas, etc. And then I talk about this idea for a product I have. Like, it's just simple. It's a few paragraphs, right? And what it's going to do is it's going to break down of like how you might implement it. So I told it up here in this prompt of like tech that I was thinking about using, right? And it's like, yeah, if you use 11 Labs, you got 75 millisecond speech latency, like all this stuff. Here's what it is. And it just kind of talks me through the architecture of this. Like, how might you do this? And then what you'll see me do below is I'll say, like, what do you think about it from a business standpoint? Is it unique? Like, whatever. And again, a lot of the output that I get is because of my rules that I have for ChatGPT, which those are mine. You can't have those. You can have my cursor rules, but you can't have my ChatGPT rules. And I'll talk through this, and then I'll kind of guide it a little bit, and I'll just explore. So this is what this looks like, right? This is just an exploration. And then what I'll end up doing after that, I'll do let's do PRD search. So then after that, I'll do something that's like let me find an example here. Okay, here's a comprehensive PRD. So yeah, so this is what I'll do. I'll end up generating comprehensive PRD. Why is it not showing me the right one? Hold on. That's not it, actually. But anyways, so it'll generate one, and then what I'll do is I'll take the PRD, and I have another prompt that's called prompt general. So I have a open thread in O3. It used to be O1 Pro, but now it's O3, called prompt general. And what I'll do is I'll tell that prompt how to write the other prompts for me. I got a special guest joining. Surprise guest.
Whoa.
What's up, dude? Sorry to just throw
What's
you
up, man?
in the mix like that. But I'll do that, and then I'll kind of take my workflow from there, and I'll make a video show you guys about that. Brett, dude, I was showing the people Roast GPT earlier.
Yeah.
And I saw you tweeted out that you were working.
Oh, you pulled it up? You pulled up the build?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Is it done?
No,
I'm just kidding.
I just pulled up the one that we were talking about the other day.
Yes. Yeah. I was on a call. What did you guys talk about? Oh yeah. I'm playing around. What
do you got? Show us.
Yeah, I'll show you. Let me share my screen.
You don't have to design it live, but let's see some branding here. I've been nerding out on AI stuff, so we got to give the people some pretty pictures.
Let me see. You go on Do Not Disturb, so you don't see my text. Here we go. No logo yet. Just playing around with I think you got to turn on the screen. Here's an idea I came up with. Okay. So while we're roasting it,
a little fire.
You roast it.
Dude, where did the inspiration for the Lego fire come from? Because I actually fucking love that direction.
You know what? I'm building a tutorial on it right now. It's a Photoshop plugin actually that I came across, or like a effect, but I built it in Figma too, which I will be sharing. Yeah,
that's insane.
Look, dude, all it is this little Lego piece right here that has like a drop shadow to the square, and then a little shadow on the little Lego piece, and it's just overlaid on top.
No way. And it just inherits the color.
Just inherits the color, and then I actually added a second layer of bricks on top to give it like a vibrant pop. Because if you turn off, for example, like this top layer here, kind of darkens, Yep. But then you turn it on and it goes boom.
Yeah. That's clean.
Yep. Pretty simple. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it, and I noticed it when I posted it on X, is that like when it's smaller, you don't notice like the detail in it. But like look at the detail.
Yeah. But as a website, you would notice it pretty.
As a website, it works. Yeah. So I was playing around with like different colors. I kind of dig this, but
I do too. I dig the
I dig the direction. Still need a logo and some other stuff, but just kind of getting a base like style down, and then there's some things that are missing, like the prompt input, right? Gonna add like a little flame pixel art here beside the toggle for savage mode. I'm gonna make this look a little bit more interesting. I don't know if we were gonna do like, I'd be interesting to see how Bolt handles this, but if we can do it as almost like a single module, or if it like needs different pages, but it's kind of designed as like a single kind of multi-step form. Got that, and then which this is just a video right now. I don't know how that'll be handled. Yeah, you can see it kind of like blurs the design in the back. Yeah, I kind of dig the back. And then I was playing with like some overlaying some like stuff on up here. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards this one.
I like it a lot, dude. I think it's clean. Like from a feature set, right? Like I've just been talking to people about
Mhm.
building features in AI tools, right? And so from a feature set for this, like, what are we thinking? Because
Yeah.
so what I think just as a catch up. So what we did is we had a proof of concept. We said, how easy would it be for us to do this? And so we were able to get something to where we trained Gordon Ramsay on how to, kind of roast the design, and it worked pretty easily. So now we know that without a problem, we're going to be able to build this into something that's like pretty fun to use. And the question is like, how do you make it sticky? Like, how do you get people
Yeah.
sharing it? How do you make it sticky?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I mean, it's like you almost need some sort of generated output graphic, right?
Yeah.
That you can post on X that might show like a picture of the design and then the output roast. Again, like I say all this is like a classic designer talking to a dev, but how you actually make that work, I have no earthly clue. But here was the for those that didn't catch the stream last week. Here's kind of where we're at with kind of the scope of work here. Obviously, we're using OpenAI for all the AI stuff, but then I think we were talking about 11 Labs. I think I think 11 Labs is part of the starter kit, so I think we get some free credits there through Bolt.
Yeah.
Um,
The build pack.
and then
Yep.
yeah, the Bolt pack. And then, yeah, I mean, here's kind of the feature list of voice mode, which will be powered by 11 Labs. So if we can integrate that, it'll kind of just read the roast out loud. Image upload, Hunter's already got that added in. Roast selection, already got that added in too. We still have to define exactly who the roasters are. We have like kind of a list over here, but this essentially sets the tone of the roast. So whether it's like Gordon Ramsay or whoever. Savage mode, which we tested out last week, was pretty might need to dial back the savage mode a bit.
It works, dude.
It was pretty bad. Leaderboard, we haven't discussed the technicalities around this, but kind of highlighting those that unfortunately got crushed the most. And
Like, how
then
do you,
yeah,
it's almost like, how do you score that? You'd almost have to have
you have
the
to assign a score,
AI.
right?
Yeah. You'd have to have the AI assign a score based on like a couple of criterias.
Yeah, that might be
And
something we kind of tie in at the end if we can. I don't know. But yeah, that definitely does necessitate
yeah,
some sort of score, which we haven't really accounted for yet.
no, it would be hilarious.
And then I don't know if we're gonna run with these. I think the roast me again button's fine, but I forgot what this even was for. And
What
then
the
start a
client
new
may say.
generator. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I had something on this. I said it on last stream. I have to review it. I thought it was good at the time, or else I wouldn't have added it. And then, yeah, I mean, that's basically the feature list. So the flow here, going back to this, is that drop your design in, toggle on or off savage mode, and then you can hopefully direct the AI in terms of like giving them context for what it even is, whether it's a landing page, pitch, graphic or whatever. And then yeah, you'll pick your poison, as I say here, and then it'll roast it. And then from there, I don't know, figure it out.
And so do we want it to talk to you with 11 Labs, right? So you come to the roast and you
Ideally,
choose the option of like press play.
yeah, there'd be a play button
Yeah.
somewhere right here. Yeah, ideally. Is it necessary? No, but I think we should prioritize if we can some sort of output, right, that you can actually share on social.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
That'd be
that.
funny. But yeah, no, you got a working prototype last week. So I think this week is just kind of hopefully adding in some of these elements. Like, how do you like if you want to upload add a specific graphic to Bolt, you can just reference it, upload it.
Yep.
Does it? And it'll
Yeah.
take it exactly. It won't try to recreate it, right?
No, it'll take it exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so they just shipped that I think last week. So in Bolt now, which is really nice. If there's an image that you're wanting to use in the app, you can upload that image and specify where it goes, and it'll go ahead and load that image. Which it's funny because that's something relatively new to these tools, is being able to easily insert an image with tools like Bolt, Lovable, etc. But Bolt's implemented that in a super cool way. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, dude, I like it. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder like how are you envisioning the how are you envisioning the selector or the
You talking about the
yeah,
roaster?
yeah, Gordon
I
Ramsay
don't
thing.
know, man. Like I don't know. Um, I was working through a couple of ideas in my head, like just big giant ass like text list of it that you can scroll through, or like
Yeah.
just something kind of like not so utilitarian like this.
Yep.
This is more of like a wireframe, but um, I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Were you thinking through that?
No, I feel like we might want to use fake names just to be safe. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
probably
We might
true.
want to do like
Or
Gordon Ramsay.
personas. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You can do that, or just like general personas, like we had over here
Yeah.
somewhere,
Gordon Ramsay,
like Gen Z
uh,
startup bro, tech bro, VC, your mom,
Ronald Trump,
Ronald Trump.
all those Reddit
Yeah,
names.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Speaking
Probably
of
smart.
Ronald Trump, I don't know why this brought it to mind. I was talking about the open purpose news earlier.
I
Uh,
didn't even know what open purpose was, bro.
oh, okay, okay.
It's an
So
agency though, huh? A
it
big
was an
agency,
agency. Yeah, yeah,
like a design agency.
yeah. Like really good
Huh.
design agency. Yeah.
I would have guessed it's one of those like weird ass, like really ambiguous. What's the one that's that really good designers running? That computer company where it's like, what the hell is this thing? Um, there's some of these startups out there that like they're just so mysterious. You don't really know what they're doing, but you just see them everywhere. I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like that's a name for one of them. No, what happened? No one knows.
Nobody knows. He wrote a letter, but it's too vague. Honestly, it's not even worth talking about.
Okay, okay.
It's not even worth talking about.
I saw everyone talk about an X, but I didn't know it was an agency. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, I love this, man. I love the direction you got going on. I almost feel like I feel like we have to build a suite of meme tools. Like we have plenty of time. We got to build like roast GPT. We got to build some kind of like oh man, something like all the work that you've been doing for AI art generation. We have to build something for that. That's kind of funny.
So you want to be like art related?
No,
Because I mean, you can get some spicy stuff.
no, just like a meme kit for designers. Like everybody's so serious arguing about revenue and numbers and copying and this and that. Like we should just have a whole the meme suite for design.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Kind of build once, copy, and
Yeah.
tweak some things, and yeah.
Yeah. Or just build
So,
multiple things.
okay, so are you talking about building one central tool to then kind of select what you want to
Ooh,
roast?
maybe. Well, maybe it's not all roasting though. Maybe like
Depends on how related they are.
Roast GPT
Oh
is just
yeah.
one of them. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. Okay.
Roast
I
GPT
like
could create
it.
an image of what it assumes you look like after you let it roast your design. Oh my God, that is genius.
That is genius. I was thinking something in terms of your appearance, but that's a touchy subject.
No, that's great. So okay, so hold on, Kyle. So I
That's
upload my
good.
design, it roasts it, and then I'm like, show me what you think I look like as a designer based on my
Yeah,
design. And then 4.0 sends you like a meme
that'd be good.
image of you. Yeah, that is pretty damn funny.
That'd be good.
The
I like
design
that.
and then who designed it.
I got to
That's
write
pretty
that
funny.
down. Write
It's a
that
good idea.
down.
Kyle, you get credit for that idea, sir. It's gonna be
Think
sick. I love it.
I look like.
So what are we doing? We're gonna go live. We're gonna go live tomorrow and work on this, I think, right? Today's
Yeah, man.
Tuesday? Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have some of this stuff a little bit more kind of buttoned up, and then implement what we can implement. Continue building out whatever the next step is. I'm letting you lead on that. So, do you think we can do this fire thing? Is that possible?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Anything's possible, man.
Anything's possible. I like the attitude.
We can do it all.
Yeah, dude, be fun.
Let's see what this is. Yeah, I think it'll be sick. What else is going on, man? Any other brand goodies you got going on? You're over here branding
Any
this.
other brand goodies? No, dude, working on this one, man. Because I'm like, you know, I could just give the Photoshop plugin out, but or I could just show you how to do the damn thing. So I'm gonna do this today. Probably release it at some point. You like this though? Is it too like
No,
too
I like
weird?
it. I think it's cool, man.
I wouldn't use it necessarily in anything, but
I would be interested. What do you mean? You're using it for the Roast GPT landing page?
oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. Good point.
you're
Good
using
point. Good point. No, man, I'm working on Tommy's stuff. Tommy's got a podcast coming out, so I've been doing. I don't want to show it on stream to spoil it, but I've been doing some cool ass stuff for him.
Dude, he's not here. He can't stop you.
I know. That'd be rude though. No, didn't do stuff for him. No, bro, just more distracted than ever. You know,
Yep.
bro. Speaking of AI tools, okay.
Uh-oh.
You got to demo this thing on your stream sometime. Have you?
Okay.
Do you follow? What's it called? I'm gonna butcher this name, man. I'm gonna call it Topaz Labs. Have you heard of them?
Yeah. Topaz Labs.
Dude, did you see what they released yesterday?
I did not.
They released an AI upscaler called Bloom, and it is
Okay.
insane. I mean, I can show you.
Yeah, show
I
me.
did.
Let's
I
see
was
it.
doing some stuff yesterday. So, first off, for people that don't like understand why you have AI upscalers, because generative AI is really crappy at getting details just right. So, if you really like, if you don't want to be just a lazy butt, like, take the next step and upscale it. Because I will show you here why. Scaler. It's not like it's not public right now, so it's a weird way to get to it. How do I get to it? Oh, damn it. 1 second.
Dude, you're teasing us.
I know, man. What's it called? Don't look through my internet history here. Topaz Labs. Where is it? Boom. Is that it?
I see what you guys are talking
Dang.
about with the screen share quality, because I'm seeing it too now that Brad's sharing his screen.
Is mine not good?
Your Figma was, but like text is just so blurry. It's almost like it's being output too low. I don't know. It's really weird. It's not a you thing. It's a restream thing.
All right, let me just share my window real quick. All right, can you allow that, Hunter?
Of course you can.
Okay. Well, first off, shout out these guys. AI upscales are super expensive. They're all credits based. These guys are just like, we're going to allow you unlimited upscales, 4 at a time, max out at 8 times the size, which other upscalers max out at like 2 to 4 times. And it's just bad. So okay. Let me show you something here. Let's just look at like this one. Oh, let me bring it. All right. You know what? Sorry. Let me bring it into Figma. Way easier. Okay. All right, here's the original. Oh, shit. Allow me to. Can you turn it on?
Yeah. It's not giving me the alerts. Oh shit!
Right.
What?
No. Wait a minute. You see this blurriness, right?
Yep.
See this blurriness. Okay. Watch this.
So we're saying this is intentionally blurry, people. So I don't want to hear any.
Yeah. This is what's outputted by Midjourney, right? Like it looks good when you're zoomed out, but then you zoom in, and you're like, dude, like that's the kind of stuff you get called out for being like an AI guy, because it's just it doesn't scale, right? But watch.
Oh damn!
Look at that.
Oh damn! Yeah.
So if you just if you just look at all this detail here, I don't know if that's coming through in the stream.
No, it's coming through. Yeah.
But like you compare that to over here, which is like
even the stained glass windows.
I mean, first off,
so did you upscale to 16K or 8K?
this was 6K right here.
Oh, 6. Okay.
This was 6K, I believe. It's either 6 or 8. I mean, you can see the scale difference. These are both original sizes, right? But up until this point, Topaz Labs, like they're one of the best upscalers in the game, but they never did detail enhancement. So they just simply upscaled the pixels that were there, and it just created all these weird artifacts in the image. But now you can include the original prompt in it,
Okay.
and it is a game changer. Like, look at this shit, man. Like, how detailed that is. I even did like an experiment where, for example, like you see this. Okay, here's a good example. So now, and they also have creativity mode. So this is another output, which the extra output looked better because I threw it into Lightroom and gave it a filter. But you can see when you zoom in here. But like, let's just take this stained glass window right here, right? And then show you what that looks like. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
it's insane, man.
Yeah,
it's like insane.
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, dude, it's like it's a total game changer. I canceled my Magnific $40 a month subscription immediately. I paid the full year, it was like $300 or something like that. But you get unlimited. It generates 4 at a time, so you can pick your different, the best output. But yeah, it's crazy. It's called Bloom, guys. If you go to their Twitter, I don't think it's publicly out to like just like go download. You have to fill out some form and like a type form, and it gives you a link at the end.
Dude, fuck, man, that's crazy.
But it's so fun, man. Like,
what's your use case though? Like, I want to hear, like, how are you really putting this into like production? The work that you're doing.
Well, I think like Perplexity is a good example, right? Perplexity, other people try to mimic Perplexity, including myself, right? But the output is, you start to zoom in on some of the details, and it's just not good because like hands look weird, faces are super blotchy. Like here's like a good example, maybe. No, there's no faces in this one. But if I showed you some that had faces in it, like you can't really use it for anything. Like for even for 7th Form, for example, my agency that I'm doing, a lot of the stuff that I've generated thus far, just really, it looks nice on social, but like you zoom in and it's just like, I really want my brand name on these weird photos that people are missing eyeballs and stuff like that. Like the details matter. It should matter at least.
Right.
And so like Perplexity, everyone who gives a crap about detail will run it through these things. And so the output, no matter what you're doing, really, I mean, this is a very specific use case, right? But yeah, it's anything that you generate with AI should be ran through one of these things, just so you can get that it's the extra level of detail that's missing in generative AI. So I mean, you can see it literally changes.
Yeah.
You see these people back. There's not even people back there, but like adds people back there, right?
Yep.
So it's just one step in everything that I do. I used other tools in the past, but now this is amazing. I even love the name Bloom. So it's so good for upscaling. But yeah, it's just one of those additional steps. Everyone just tries to one-shot everything with AI, but it's the difference is following these extra additional, like going the extra mile and making stuff look sick. But yeah, I thought this was a cool example. Yeah, it blew up yesterday on Twitter for anybody that's like into AI stuff. But
yeah, this is sick. I'm excited to play with this, man. I've spent so little time playing with like the art generation stuff, and I've spent all my time playing with the code.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like I want to dive under the hood of this stuff.
It's the more fun stuff. But yeah.
Well, now Restream is having issues with my camera, so I think on that note,
oh yeah, you're off.
Yeah, I'm not. It's on, but yeah. But dude, this is sick, man. I think this is a cool little stream. Guys, I'm gonna go deep into the different areas of stuff that we talked about. I'm gonna make Brett sit down with me, and I'm gonna have Brett explain his process in a way deeper than he's done before too. I saw the stuff you did with Greg, but we're gonna go deeper if you're down for it, Brett. We're gonna get into the weeds.
Let's do it, man.
All right, dude. I love it. All right, people. We'll be back Friday for a normal stream. Mr. Gioco will be here. We'll be arguing about God who knows what. And then catch Brett and I tomorrow riffing on RosGPT with Bolt for the Bolt Hackathon. We're going to win $1 million. And I think that's it. That's the stream.
Hell yeah. All right.
All right, dude. Take care, man.
Peace out, guys.
Bye, everybody.